and welcome to the Lifestyle Refresh Podcast. I'm Stephanie, and I'm so excited to have you here. This is a space where we explore what it really means to live a balanced, healthy, and fulfilled life through fitness, mindfulness, resilience, and everything in between. I created this podcast to share with you my journey, all the ups and downs, and the lessons I've learned along the way. My hope is that it inspires you to show up for yourself no matter where you're starting from. Each episode will dive into topics that will help you refresh your mindset, habits, and lifestyle so that you can step into the best version of yourself. I'm so glad you're here to join me on this journey. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I finished up my parenting series last week, so we're going to take a little pause on that. But I plan on working on and building a part 2 of that. So if anyone has any specific topics or anything they want to hear me talk about, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. That way I can kind of help you. But I'm really excited about today's episode because I'm sharing something that I am literally experiencing and just experienced firsthand. Fasting as a tool for gut healing and overall wellness. I recently completed a 60-hour fast. I've never done anything like this in my life, and I'm a big foodie, so this was tough. But I want to take you through why I did it, how it went, and what I learned from it. Fasting is something that's been around for centuries, used in different cultures for spiritual health and even survival reasons. But in today's world, it has become more of a conscious health tool for things like improving digestion, reducing inflammation, and even resetting the body at a cellular level. Now, I've personally struggled with gut issues for as long as I can remember. Bloating, sensitivities, but now it's been skin flare-ups. And if you've ever dealt with mystery symptoms that seem to come and go with no clear answer or really even any consistency in that matter, I know how frustrating that can be. Recently, my skin started reacting like eczema, irritation, inflammation, itchy, and I knew I needed to take a deeper look at what was going on internally. So I started researching and reading a book that really resonated with me, and I realized that fasting could be a missing piece in my journey. That led me to try this, a 60-hour fast, which, trust me, was a whole experience in itself. In this episode, I'll break down what fasting actually is, the different kinds of fasts, why I chose this one specifically, and what my experience was like. Whether you're curious about fasting, dealing with your own gut health struggles, or maybe you just want to learn more about how the body resets itself, this episode is for you. All right, so before I dive into my personal fasting experience, let's talk about what fasting actually is. At its core, fasting is just intentional act of not eating for a certain period of time. People can fast for all sorts of reasons. Some do it for religious or spiritual purposes, while others do it for health benefits like like I'm doing, gut healing, autophagy, and metabolic flexibility. There are several different types of fasting, and I want to break them down quickly so you can get a better sense of the options out there. First, I think there's like the most common one that you hear, intermittent fasting. This is where you eat within a specific window, like 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. And it's a great way to give your digestive system a break without doing extended fasting. So people tend to do that more regularly. Like I know my husband, he does that regularly and that has really worked for him. So this is why look at all the different types. There's plenty of options. It's not one size fits all for everyone. Um, I don't think I could sustain myself on intermittent fasting. And for the purposes of what I was doing this for, I think that's why doing an extended one was a better reset for me. So that brings us to the extended fasting. This is for anything beyond 24 hours, like a 48 or 72-hour fast. These are usually used for deeper gut resets, the autophagy, which is the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells, and even just immune system regeneration. And then there's water fasting. So this means only drinking water for the duration of your fast. Some people also include electrolytes to keep their body balanced. So another different type of option. And there's, you hear too about juice, just doing a juice fast or a bone broth fast. This is usually a more gentle approach where you are still consuming nutrients from juices or broth, but still give your digestive system a break. So I feel like I did actually a combination of a lot of these, but we'll get into that. And the last one is elemental diet fasting. This one is used for more severe gut issues where you only consume pre-digested nutrients in a liquid form to allow your gut to heal. So it's so interesting. Like there's so many different ways and things that you can help and treat this with. So why do people fast exactly? Well, fasting triggers a lot of different processes in the body. Without constant digestion, your body can focus on repairing and rebalancing. It supports autophagy. This again is like your body's self-cleaning mode. It breaks down all the old or damaged cells and then regenerates new ones. And it reduces inflammation. So many chronic health issues like skin conditions or gut disorders, that anything that's pretty much linked to inflammation, fasting can help lower that, which I think is really what I needed help with. And it also helps balance your blood sugar. If you struggle with energy crashes or sugar cravings, fasting can help reset your insulin sensitivity. But for me, fasting wasn't just about weight loss or discipline. The discipline was really nice to see and has been nice to see throughout this journey for me. I've worked really hard on that. But it wasn't even about weight loss. And so many people asked me if I had looked at or if I had lost weight, and I hadn't even looked because that wasn't a goal of mine. This was all about healing and finding whatever issue I can that may be bothering me. So it was all about seeing if I could help myself pinpoint what was triggering my gut and skin issues. And after years of trial and error with different diets, and I've spent time, months and months, going back to different dermatologists trying to find it. I've done all the things. I wanted to see if maybe this system, this remedy book that I found that's all about holistically healing yourself, maybe this could be a true breakthrough for me. and help bring me some clarity and something I can learn on this new journey I'm about to go on. But now that you have a better understanding of fasting, let's go into why I personally chose a 60-hour fast and what that experience has actually been like for me. I was going to get into this and record this last week, but I wanted to have like more of a reflection period of time for you guys. I wanted to have like a truer input on how I felt, because obviously, like, the true results speak over time. So the longer you go, you gain more from it. So I wanted to be able to give that to you guys. So I held it off for a week, and I appreciate your patience in that. But I wanted to dive into my experience. I didn't really know all too much about fasting before getting into this. I mean, all I really knew about was intermittent fasting, but I didn't know about the different kinds of ways you could fast, the different time periods, and I really didn't know much about the whole autophagy situation until going through this and learning and finding all this new information out. And that, to me, is the most amazing part about all of this. When you can go 24 to 48 hours without food, that is when you hit autophagy phase in your body, where your body literally starts to break down dead, old, wanted, or unhealthy, or any just cells that aren't good for you. It breaks it down and repairs it. So you're literally repairing and healing on a cellular level when you hit that point. So if you have any precancerous or any cancerous cells in your body, it's literally breaking them down and killing them and repairing you from the inside out. But not only in that level, now I'm learning, now that I've dove into this world, I'm learning how it helps so many other autoimmune issues or struggles, or even how women can use it to help their hormone health. It helps greatly if you're going through menopause. There are so many useful ways to implement fasting into your life to help you live a healthier life. But like I said, I didn't know any of this prior to. This has all been a learning experience. So why did I dive into the fasting route? Well, since I grew up, I have always had stomach and GI struggles and issues. You name it, I've been through the diet or tried the fat or FODMAP. I've done all the things. And recently, over the years, it's starting to show up in skin conditions. So I've been starting to see a lot of different types of rashes and have infections from those rashes that kind of chronically have come up before, and a lot of eczema showing up. So that started happening a lot as of recently, the last month or two. And I had spent 8 or so months the previous year going back and forth with a dermatologist about a different rash that I kept coming back and having. So having this spark up was extremely frustrating for me, and I didn't want to necessarily jump down that route. So like I had mentioned, this book, The Holistic Guide to Wellness, I finally had gotten that book and started just diving into any ailment that I have had or experienced, reading up on the protocol, reading up on pretty much all the information I can about it. And I went through a few different ones that I've experienced, and I kind of cross-checked them. And a lot of them had common protocols to follow, and a lot of it was pretty much pointing back to my gut. So majority of it was pretty much just an elimination style diet and protocol, but there was one that I was following that was kind of like if you have for like chronic yeast infections or anything. And it was called a candida cleanse. So that was the most extreme, and that started with the 2 day fast, water and broth only. And then you move into, from that, an elimination style diet where you slowly start to add foods back in and kind of see how you feel and go off of that. So I figured, you know what, I've dealt with that in the past. It's not what I'm experiencing right now, but I feel like I just need to go deep and do a full gut cleanse for myself. Try this out. I never thought I could do a 2 day fast like this. I can't even believe I made it through, but wow, resilience, man. So I dove into it. We had nothing going on that weekend. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it this weekend. Let's try and even just stay busy with the kids. That way I don't, try and distract me from the hanker and whatnot. I don't do well not eating food. I eat a lot throughout the day. So this was going to be a challenge for me. So we kept pretty busy, and it turned into a very eventful and quite an experience of a weekend for my family. But I am so proud of myself for getting through that and for getting through it so strongly, too. Even my husband can say I did pretty well. I wasn't very hangry, especially considering how I usually can be. I did pretty good. I surprised myself a lot with what I was able to do still, being so hungry and feeling um, just like I'm lacking so much energy. And the first day was easy to get through. That night it hit me hard with like nausea and just feeling hungry, and I went to bed, and I actually woke up at like 3 a.m. and it was like that feeling that you can't fight, like I can't fight this. I'm going to get sick. So I got sick. It was like practically just stomach bile. It wasn't a ton. I did freak out and question if I could hang and if I could continue doing this. Maybe this wasn't for me. I was really discouraged and disappointed in myself. So many feelings, but I tried to brush them off and just tell myself, go to bed and see how you feel in the morning. And I did. And I woke up and I felt a million times better. I was able to push through. I listened to my body. I definitely drank a little less broth the second day and really focused on more water, and that helped. Halfway through the day, I noticed all of the redness and my irritation in my face and around my eye had gone away. And not only that, because that's disappeared from time to time, my eye wasn't even itchy. So that was crazy. So that was a big thing I noticed right away, like day 2. And I made it through. And when I woke up that next day, I felt so naturally energized. I felt so good. I had definitely this extra rush of adrenaline. I just felt super motivated, and like I just wanted to do so many things and be productive and get things done. And I had that day. I had that day for sure. I had like the most productive day of my entire life. I feel like I could have pushed myself and kept not eating, but I made it 60 hours, and that was a huge, huge, huge win for me. And I was hungry, so I ate, but day 1 was super, super bland. So that was kind of a challenge. I did the best I could. I ate the most I can and just tried to, power through because I knew I would eventually be able to keep trying to add stuff in. But I felt super like that adrenaline, extra adrenaline feeling that I had, that lasted into like that second day of adding food. But I still felt super naturally, super naturally energized. I am someone who lives off of caffeine, and I have grown quite energy drink addiction. I hate to admit it, But that has been my one thing kind of getting me through all these years. I'm a busy mom. I've got 2 kids. I work multiple jobs. I'm trying to hold all of this together and keep myself energized. But when things start, I'm not holding up all of the ends properly with making sure I'm properly nourished with foods. So that takes away from my energy, and I have to supplement with caffeine. And coffee's been a trigger for me. So I have fallen back on energy drinks over the years. I would drink like 2 a day. Like I was bad, and I did scale back from that. So I was up to recently like only doing 1 a day, and sometimes I would even like only do that half of the week and then try to go the beginning half without, but I would always fall back. Like I couldn't keep up with it. And guys, I haven't had one energy drink or coffee or anything like that in 2 weeks. And I have had not even just that first day that was like, whoa, I felt like I was on speed, honestly. Like I had so much adrenaline. I was running around doing so many things. It was crazy. But I have had so much natural energy steadily and consistently for 2 weeks. Like I've had the most productive 2 weeks ever. And not only that, I can't tell you how good I feel. I feel amazing. Like I feel myself again. I'm happy. And the food I'm eating. And I've built this new relationship with food, how it makes you feel, cooking food. I'm learning so many new recipes. It's been life changing. I hate to like sound like so over the top and dramatic about something like this. I never thought this would be how my reflection would be, but it really has been life changing. And I haven't even figured out what is bothering me yet. So I'm just like, I'm excited to keep moving forward. I'm excited to keep trying. So I've pretty much been doing 2 weeks whole real foods only for 2 weeks. And it's been hard. I've had to plan and prep and do all of these things and make sure I'm good ahead of time. But it's taught me how easy it really can be and that I can do it. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and my snacks, everything has been whole real foods for 2 weeks. And it's been amazing. And it's totally changed the game for me. I feel like this was a pivotal thing I needed to even do in my life, for my career, for so many aspects, so many areas. So I'm so grateful I made the decision to just jump and do this, and I followed my intuition, and I did all of that. It's been such a great experience. I'm so happy I tried it. I'm learning so much more now diving into it. A client of mine, a really good friend, passed down a book to me that's Fast Like a Girl, all about hormone health. So I am so interested to learn what other areas fasting can help with and how it can help other people as well. A little tease as well, since I just mentioned the hormone health. I am going to be teasing an episode I'm working on with a good friend of mine that we will be talking all about women's hormone health, how to balance and regulate your hormones, and all the fun stuff that comes with that. So stay tuned for that in the future as well. But back to my fasting journey and the food I've been on. So kind of elimination style diet. I've been doing no gluten, no sugar, no dairy. It was no caffeine for a bit. I started adding some like green tea in recently. Yeah. So we'll see. So I've been slowly adding that in. I added eggs in the first few days. That was a big thing for me, and I haven't had any issues with that. I actually, like, because so many people have asked me what I've been doing, I use like ChatGPT AI robot for an app, to do a lot of like my brainstorming and help to make my life easier with some things. So I tried it out using it with this whole experience. So I kind of entered in everything I was trying to follow, the protocols following, the fasting, the elimination style diet, and what kind of how I should start reintroducing food. It broke down a ton of meals to start with and a ton of recipe ideas. I kind of like told it, I like this, I don't like this works for me, I'll try this. Broke down all of that. And then I added, I wanted to keep it like the same meals for 2 days at a time and truly that would be easier to plan for me throughout the week and to be able to keep up with it for 2 weeks. So I let it know that was how I wanted it to break it down, and it gave me a whole meal plan guide, And I've asked it questions along the way, like, oh, how do I cook this? And that whole thread, it keeps it up, and it has made this so much easier. I know people can be afraid of AI, but it can be such an amazing and powerful tool for exact reasons and things like this. Even after I had the meal plan, I was like, hey, make this into a grocery list for me. Boom, done. So easy. So it's funny. So that's what I've been using to help me with my meal plans. I have discovered so many cool and awesome recipes and meals that I would never try or think of myself to do, but I trusted this. I trusted, went with my gut on this whole experience, was really leaning into how I was doing it. And I have just been so happy and thrilled with my results already and how I'm feeling. And I'm just so proud of myself. I'm so damn proud of myself. This whole experience was like the truest test to my discipline, my resilience, all of the things. And I even stopped because I had to ask myself, because I'm big on my reflecting. So I wanted to give myself a question for my personal journey. So I wanted to ask myself this. Do I think if I hadn't worked so hard on shifting my mindset to be a more positive thinking mindset, that would this challenge, would it have been more difficult for me? And I think it absolutely would have. It would have been extremely difficult for me. I just have a different belief now. And I truly, truly believed I could do it and I would be okay. Even on that day 2, listen, I was day 2, no food. And I get hangry. I'm a hangry person. Day 2, no food. Me and my husband took both of our young children. We ended up taking the train in to the city on the St. Patrick's Day parade and went to the museum. I had to walk a mile and a half back after that day from the museum to the train station. And yeah, I was tired. It was hard, of course, of course. And every time I've told the story to, they sound like it sounds like a flippin' nightmare. And it, honestly, if I hadn't set myself in my head before this and knew I really wanted to do it, it probably would have been. I probably would have had a lot more of a miserable outlook and perspective on it. But that shows how perspective and when you shift your mindset, how huge it can be in your everyday life for things like this. I faced this. I did something I never thought I could do, and I did it on like one of the most challenging things I've ever put myself through with my family, anyways. And I did it because I knew I could. I knew I would be fine. Despite how tired, how hungry, I was feeling so drained of energy. But I knew I could keep up, and I knew I was going to be fine. And I kept saying it to myself. And I just listened to my body. At one point when we were in the mall, I just said, I can feel my energy draining. Can we just like take the elevator instead of the stairs? Which I would never say that. But please. Because I knew something like that I could keep going. but it would save me. So we were like doing stuff like that. But I had that in my head. I kept the positive thoughts, I kept the positive vibes, and I did it. And I've had a wonderful, great experience from this. So I can't recommend fasting enough. I don't know if I could handle a continuous, regular, intermittent fasting. Even now, back to my 2 weeks in of eating, like, your girl eats. Like, I need big plates, big meals, 3 of them. Okay, I can't do it. So I don't think that is made for me. But I'm definitely not opposed to having an occasional detox like this and a little gut microbiome clean out, if you will. So we'll see. Fasting might be occasionally in my schedule now, but I don't know how regularly yet. We'll see. I feel good. I'm doing good. I'm trying to figure out what's bothering me, so hopefully we get to the bottom of it. But yeah. So looking back on this experience, I can honestly say that fasting has taught me a lot about my body. It's taught me a lot about my mindset around food and how powerful rest and reset can be. One of my biggest takeaways was just how much we rely on food, not just for fuel, but for comfort, distraction, or even just part of your routine. Going without food for 60 hours made me really tune into my hunger cues, energy levels, and just how my body responds when it's given time to truly rest. Did fasting completely heal all my gut and skin issues overnight? Of course not. But what it did do was help me identify patterns, reduce some inflammation, and give me a clearer sense of what my body actually needs. If you're curious about trying fasting, my biggest advice is to listen to your body and do your research. Fasting isn't for everyone, and it's definitely something you want to approach in a way that supports your health and not stress it. I'd love to hear from you though. Have you ever tried fasting, and what was your experience like? Or is it something you've been curious about but you haven't tried? Send me a message, share your thoughts, and let's just keep this conversation going. As always, thank you for being here and tuning in. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it with someone who might also benefit from it. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Until next time, take care, listen to your body, and I'll talk to you soon.